following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
Happy Tuesday night after a wild race at Dover last week. Team iRacing is back with you for some Gen 4 racing as we come to you from the Daytona International Speedway here on iRacing. We appreciate everyone joining us here on this Tuesday, and the captain get you ready for 70 laps of racing coming up here momentarily. Qualifying is actually already going on, running a little behind here tonight, trying to get some things set up and getting the broadcast good to go and things like that. So forgive me for running a little late tonight, but we're here and ready to go for racing here this evening at the World Center of Racing, virtually on iRacing. After that wild week at Dover last week, some penalties handed down and stuff, so you'll see some drivers not here tonight that normally you'll see. There's one penalty that was actually rescinded earlier, and I didn't get the chance to update the points back, so I'm not going to show you the points because they're kind of inaccurate, but we'll get that fixed up and ready for you. Maybe by the end of the race or something we'll have it up. We'll see. I can't promise anything, but Chris is a been a busy man the last couple of days here as work's been hurting the man, and of course he's got life at home now with the little one and stuff, so obviously, life comes first, as they say. So, as qualifying goes on here from Daytona, hopefully everybody, again, has had a great Tuesday. Of course, we're 3 races into the season, and we have had our share of exciting finishes from the Alfin and Casey Carrington finish at Michigan. Of course, the Dover race last week that I talked about just a little bit ago. You know, that one's seen its wildness with, unfortunately, a lot of cautions at the end. And, you know, because of that, Stephen Miles does lead the points over Kyle Ethier after 3 races. And tonight being race number 4 here on the schedule. And Colby Wells winning race number 3. Stephen Miles winning the second. And then Casey Carrington winning the first. The question tonight is, can we see a 4th winner in 4 races? But before we do that, we're going to go trackside because they are gritting, and let's get to our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star Rave.
All right, the car's rolling off as you see. Getting ready for 70 laps of racing here tonight, voted on by the drivers on the Discord page. Another close battle each and every week for the amount of laps they want in this race. They've decided on 175 miles and 70 laps here this evening as we look at the starting lineup from Daytona. Stephen Miles on the pole, 48.341. He'll start next to Kyle Ethier there in the outside of row one. Ty Young, the Texas driver, started inside of Josh Dillon. Craig Martin, Dylan Rosenberg there in that third row. Daniel Giroux, Nick Uricchio, row 4. David Stringle, Devin Ramsey there. Row 5, Jacob Bowen will start alongside Steve Melnick. Melnick, one of the aggressive drivers here on super speedways. Jace Lafort, Randy Cornwell there in row 7. Row 8, Colby Wells, winner last week at Dover. And Sammy Davis. Logan Dinsmore, Josh Gannon, row 9. Row 10, Chris Lewis, Aaron Beaver. Dominic Russo, Clement Downey, your other starters. David Fite actually not going to be in the race tonight. I see him on the grid here, but will not be in the race. Race information tonight, 76 degrees, 71% humidity, cloudy skies. We were dark when we first started, so we're actually probably in the morning right now still, as we'll obviously warm up into the afternoon, and who knows, by the end we could be back at night before it's all over with. We'll have to see. But you see the 70 laps, 50% fuel, so going to be an interesting race as we come down to it here from Daytona. Live here on the Captain Esports Network. It's race 4 of TI Racing and the Gen 4 Series. We appreciate you coming to join us here on the Captain Esports Network. Let's go racing from Daytona. As per usual, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. Check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As these cars get up to speed. You can see the typical Florida weather. Sun comes out for about a half a mile. Then it's back to cloudy for the next half a mile. Then you get the sun for another half mile. As Giroux, or that was Stringle, I'm sorry. Yeah, matching white cars there. Jumping down. And out of the way of the pack. This car has a lot of drag to it. I talk about that wicker that sits up on top of the race car. That promotes the draft. Puts such a big hole in the air. As Miles leads lap 1. You tend to see some pretty good racing here on the TI side, and then sometimes you get some carnage out here on these super speedways. Clement Downing trying not to lose the draft there early as to bring her off turn 4 and into the tri-oval. Miles going to lead lap number 2 here. I think you'll see Miles lead here until he gets past, and eventually at that point probably will fall back. Not going to hear much lifting unless you're in this pack. Ramsey there in that 9 car top side, 5th car in line. Kobe Wells there behind him. Kind of a little nostalgic there, seeing that Budweiser 8 car and that UPS 88 car. Get the AC Delco car behind it, top side. All 3 kind of nostalgic paint schemes. Of course, Dylan Stone, a little track house look to it in that 91 car, but pretty cool to see those 3 paint schemes up front there. And then Ty Young in the bottom with Craig Martin in the 222 car. Daniel Giroux at 92. The 00, that is Jacob Bowen, the rookie there. As Colby Wells is going to go up the middle here. Colby putting that aggressive side to work. Looks like Drew's going to fall to the back. Clement Downing was able to hold on to the draft, which is good news. Eurykio now stuck in the middle. Oh, almost some door banging there. Very tricky there as you try to find your way into a line and not lose the car you're drafting with in front. And you can easily get so caught up watching those cars that you come together with another car that's trying to do the same thing. And you get a miscommunication, which leads to a wreck. Could lead to the big one. Dom Russo back there hanging out in the back. Stringle, Giroux, Aaron Beaver, Jace LaForte, those guys hanging out back there, just kind of analyzing what's going on the track right now. Devin in that 9 car. Sammy Davis there behind him is, I'm thinking, teammate there. Logan Dinsmore in a 16. Couple of Roush-Keteers. Chris Lewis is Josh Canyon, the 79 car. Jace LaForte in that 18 Napa Auto Care car. Up front, still side by side and side by side and battling for the lead. Colby Wells has been the aggressor. He's going to put Josh Dillon there in the middle. It's Ty Young, and he's going to carry that run all the way to the top side where an Ethier going to hit. A little door banging for you, and that's going to kill that whole entire outside lane. That kind of broke the pack up. I think people checked up thinking, oh, they're about to wreck up front after that contact. Colby pushes Ether to lead, and then Ether throws the block on Colby. Oh, they get aggressive up here in the front. Turn 4, complete lap number 9. So Ethier and Wells getting pretty aggressive up there at the front. Colby obviously started all the way back in 15th, has brought Randy Cornwell with him. Of course, Cornwell in this series is a teammate to the 8 car, where before on Thursday nights the 8 car was actually teammates to the 24 car. That was always kind of an interesting conundrum. And on the other nights, usually you see the 8 car racing in the TI side of things, but tonight part of the CFT brigade, CTF brigade, whatever the initials are. Cornwell getting a little sideways there, getting pushed by Jacob Bowen. Now, you might remember the All-American Series Friday nights had a little bit of a squat to him in the back. That was, of course, a modified setup. This is the straight-up fixed setup, so the pushing not going to be advised to start this, or not to, even to finish this race. because you will lift the rear end off the bottom really quickly off the track and spin the car out if you're not careful. Kind of spread out for the most part here, just kind of minding their P's and Q's outside that little aggressive moment they had a minute ago. Already 11 laps complete here. Pit stops, I would think, probably about 15 laps. 14, 15 laps. We'll see everybody on pit road here. Could see left side tires, could see fuel only, but obviously do 15. With 70 laps in this race, that's going to be a 4-stopper. Not going to need the tires really at all outside of getting grip to leave pit road. Everybody back here just kind of biding their time, riding single file. Gonna watch in the back here and see what we're getting. Jace LaForte in that 18 car. 19th position for him, just kind of hanging in the draft. Logging laps right now. I would say at this point in the race, knowing that you have pit stops coming up, I see Lewis starting to make a move. I would try to get as far up as you can. I mean, you got to do it kind of cautiously because you don't want to be a part of a wreck if they do wreck up front. But get as much ahead as you can, because just what if, you never know, you make a mistake coming to pit road or on pit road or even leaving pit road. You buy yourself some time. If you're up there at the front, you could fall back in and be back here again, where if you're back here and you mess up, guess what? You're in the back and you're out of the draft. Or somebody's up against the wall there. I think it's Bowen. It sure is. That's why I've always said when I was out there running super speedways, yeah, I'll hang in the back, but then eventually I'm going to try to get what I can in, you know, the safest way possible. I mean, if they're 3 wide and they're about to wreck, it seems like for 10 laps straight, I'm not going anywhere near it. But like right now, so, oh, and a contact between LaForte and a 00. Nice save by Bowen. But like right now, seeing 3 cars on the outside lane, if I'm mid-pack or towards the back, I'm going to go ahead and try to go get what I can get before these pit stops get here. Bowen picking up Clement Downing back there. Those two are going to need to push each other as much as they can to get back up into that draft. I saw Clement kind of poke his nose outside. That might not have been a good idea. As Cornwell, yeah, see him side by side back there. Probably not the best of ideas right now. They need to be pushing each other in the back. And 3, are we going to try 4 wide? And Cornwell sideways into the wall. And he's going to go backwards, and now everybody in the back is going to tangle Rosenberg into the wall. Caution's out. Not sure how much damage is on that 91, but I think he got the worst of that. See Russo, a little bit of right side damage. That starts all the way up here at the front. About here. Actually, Cornwell got the worst. He slammed that wall. We're winding a little bit more here. Let's go crash cam. Dylan puts Josh, I mean, all but 4 wide there. Back it up. You see, Dylan gets that run to the outside of Gagnon, and it kind of puts Josh Gagnon in a bad spot here. But Gagnon saw himself having a run there and, well, goes to the inside of Cornwell here, which technically puts him 2 by 2, almost 4 wide, because there's like a little gap between Dylan and Cornwell. So they're like 3 wide, but in a way they're kind of 4 wide here. And Gagnon shoots that gap, and Cornwell's kind of stuck in the middle here. But then Dylan's on his outside there. They give it. There you go. Well, actually, you see Dylan gives him a bump there, and that might have helped this a little bit. But these guys tangle. And then back here is where you're going to see the worsteds come out. You see Russo's already up in the wall, and everybody's checking up, and everybody's looking like it's raining at Daytona over here in 3 and 4. Is synchronized spinning. And that ends up bringing the yellow out, and then unfortunately, bam, there's a 91 into the wall. A caution out for the first time. We did have cars come to pit road. And let's track that really quickly, because pretty much everybody came in for fuel and maybe some people to get damage fixed on their cars. I promise you, they came to pit road. It's just so much here. I have to go get off the highlights. Here we go. To pit road they come. And what you're going to see is Craig Martin looks like stays out here, or either that or it didn't track his stop. I think it's more the first one. Because there's Craig coming to pit road right there. Or the second one, I should say. Yeah, it looks like everybody, for the most part, fuel only here. Ethier taking tires. I mean, you could take tires here. It's not going to hurt anything. Obviously, plenty of time to go in this race. There's Miles winning the race off pit road with Colby Wells being there with him. And you got cars going to get some damage fixed. And we'll get one to go this time. I'm going to quiet my mic here for a second. All right, so down the back straightaway they go here to turn 3, already past a quarter distance in. Just that one caution so far. Everybody's been able to get damage fixed and stay on the lead lap. And you see where the field came in and topped off the fuel cell. You got 5 cars in the outside lane. Everybody else with fuel in the car. Just trying to go as far as they can here. Is the green flag going to come out? Back to racing here at lap 20. Miles, Colby Wells, Stephen Melnick, Devin Ramsey, Ty Young, Daniel Giroux, Josh Dillon there, your top 8 or 7. As Giroux's going to get Dillon's going to get shuffled out there by Young and Colby Wells. A lot of people losing momentum here. Not sure what's going on. Are these guys going to the back? Interesting calls here as the field spreads out a little bit. As Miles goes back to the front with Giroux and Ty Young there. And Miles all of a sudden dives off the track. Not sure what that was about. That was kind of weird. But he's going to lose the lead. Let's see this again. I don't know if Miles got pushed down there or... That's a better 1 and 2. Giroux's nowhere near his bumper. I think he just pulled down there. Just got out of the way and let these guys go by. Of course, they had the draft and the momentum, and by him turning the wheel like he did there, kind of scrubs his speed down and allows him to join back in the pack. So I wonder if there's some fuel strategy here. That would be the only reason why all of a sudden everybody would not want to be in the front. And you get in the draft there, you can run half throttle. 3/4 throttle and save a little bit of fuel. Heck, some people I've even seen at times, they'll actually clutch it for like a split second on the straightaways or something. That part's probably pretty tough to do actually, because then you lose the momentum of the car. And I mean, if there is a car I guess you could do it in, would be this one. Steve Melnick leads, and we have a single file train for the most part. Colby Wells obviously moving up there to the top side. I mean, that's what the goal is this kind of track. You get, you know, the drafting, the side-by-side racing, and you know, you want to get out there and make the racing exciting, but sometimes you just got to take a step back and figure out, okay, how do I get to lap 70? Sometimes it becomes boring, as some would say, but nobody said racing had to be exciting all the time. Even though we want it to be, doesn't mean it have to be. And of course, as I say that, and everybody was single file for a half a second, we're now back to double. And Jacob Bowen, who about wrecked it earlier in that last run, is now trying to get the lead up there in that top side. You see David Stringle's now joined the battle, the Bird car. The Birdman, if you will. You know, if there's a car that you're able to save with the most, it's probably this one, even though the drag numbers are probably a little bit higher with that wicker on the top of the car. So that means it'll just pull back the speed a little bit more. It's kind of like driving a truck, so to say, on iRacing, where as soon as you let off the gas, it's like a parachute comes out. But Stringle, a pair of double zeros here, going to the front with Bowen pushing, or the other way around, Stringle pushing Bowen. And unfortunately, David's about to get hung out because Jacob had to pull down there, else he'd have got freight trained. Now, if he can, he needs to pull back up here, coming out of 2 and trying to get Stringle back, but he might have lost him there as Miles jumps up topside there. You see the Eurykio Beaver team back there trying to team up. Two cars have lost the draft, unfortunately. Dylan Rosenberg and Randy Cornwell, who had heavy damage after that wreck, have unfortunately lost the draft here. Appreciate the viewers watching here this evening. If you're new to the chat, of course, you can hit subscribe. If you want to shout a message out there, I always enjoy giving viewers shout outs or whatever. You can say hello or whatever. If you're not new to the channel, we appreciate you coming back to join us here on the Captain Esports Network as we broadcast 5 nights a week. As Melnick takes Giroux to the top side. With the for sale car. See the car pick up RPM as it gets out there in the draft. Kyle Ethier, Craig Martin, Clement Downing now in this pack. As we're already 5 laps from the halfway point. Fairly clean here so far. As they are going to lap past Dylan Rosenberg. Great job on his part to jump down to the apron and out of the way. As Miles tries topside to get this lead. Craig Martin running the fastest lap of the race there, 44.91. That is just over 200 miles an hour. One of the easier ways to tell time of a speed of a lap is going to a track like Daytona. 2.5 miles, that means a 45-second lap is 200 miles an hour. You run a 44.91, it's a little over 200. And that's average, by the way. And a lot of that lap comes to play when you fall off the pack a little bit and then you get somebody pushing you. You've then getting the car behind you is picking you up speed, and then you're getting a tow off the car in front of you and you're catching back up to the pack. And there's such a big hole just pulling you along. And that's where you get that lap like Dominic Russo just now ran a 44.78. Trying to catch back up. As Melnick jumped out of line there for a second. So we went green just north of lap 19. We're at 19 or 20. So, oh, into the wall goes Beaver. I think he just misjudged the exit there. So we're 13 laps in. Probably another 4 or 5 laps. You'll see these cars on pit road. Potentially for green flag pit stops. Next time by will be the halfway point. Lewis, the owner of the league there in that 111 car, has been posting the last couple of weeks to the group and allowing them to vote for how many laps they wanted in a race. They can, like tonight, I think they could vote from 60 all the way to 100 laps, somewhere in that range. And it ended up, and Cornwell! What in the world? Lewis just nose planted. Craig Martin. And caution is out. We're going to have to check on Craig Martin. I looked up and I saw Cornwell in the middle of the track and I was like, uh-oh. Let's see. I don't know. Almost in the middle of the track. I don't know how else to say that. I don't know if he was unaware people were coming behind him or if he was intent to sit there or... But they just piled up. Colby Wells with damage, as I mentioned. Craig Martin gets the worst of this, by the way. Right here, he's going to get T-boned. He gets hit by, bam, right there. And good Lord. We might need a sub for Craig Martin Friday night. That might explain it. Thank you, Mr. Teller, for explaining that part. So it looks like a little bit of a rivalry starts a big wreck. Unfortunately. So Martin goes for a wild ride, and the other car that went for a wild ride here. I mean, Chris Lewis about did one of those where you hit the brake on your bicycle and you go over your front handlebars. Watch this move. I looked up, I saw the rear of Lewis's car go past the camera. Whee! Well then. So pit stops happen, by the way, during are happening, I should say. A lot of cars are on pit road now getting damage fixed. Look at that. There's a junkyard on pit road. And Ty Young's going to lead this race. Jacob Bowen, Ramsey, Miles. I mean, who's not damaged here? Let's see. Looks like most of these cars are okay. Yeah, the cars that stayed out there look like or came to pit road and got fuel only. They're good. Something tells me that was avoidable. Unfortunately, big one comes out, lap 37. Tell her everything you do looks bad. Telder makes winning look bad. Well, needs to say Discord is interesting. All right, coming back to the green, lap 38. It is Ty Young, Jacob Bowen, Devin Ramsey, Stephen Miles, Daniel Giroux, your top five. Everybody got their damage mostly fixed and is back on track. I see only one car a lap down from the whole thing, and that's Chase Lafort. Cornwell and Martin have gone behind the wall. The question is, how much did the damage get fixed on these cars? I know these cars are daggum near bulletproof. I mean, I always share the story. It seems like once a week I flipped a car like Craig Martin did. Had a race at Texas once and went to victory lane that race because I got it fixed and went back out there. As Miles carving through the field. Oh, and Melnick gets down into Ramsey, and here we go. Oh, and Ramsey goes flying. Ramsey looking like whoever that car was that Brandon Alfin went under a couple years ago at Richmond. And caution number 3 on the track. Melnick had a run, went to go to the bottom. Unfortunately, I think Ramsey went for a ride. I think Ramsey had a run too, and obviously again, you're going to see the one up top side here. He's going to get a run on the 79. He sees that gap right there, and they check up, and he goes down. And unfortunately, the 9's sitting down there. And the 9 gets submarined by the subway car. So let's go on board with the 9 here. And we're going to have a little fun here for a second. I'm in a fun mood. That's interesting to say the least. We're going to hit that button right there. This is me doing some artwork real quickly. As we do got some cars coming to pit road here. A lot of cars staying out. I think a lot of these cars getting damage fixed potentially still, but now Jacob Bowen going to be the leader of this race. And for those a part of the Discord page in TI, you can enjoy the photo and stuff I'm about to post. So we still got 2 laps to go before we go green, it looks like. Coming to 1 to go this time by. So we are 28, make that 27 to go this time by, and we get the green. And you're still going to have 1 more stop. Still got at least 17 cars on the lead lap, believe it or not, even though we've wrecked a bunch of them already. So you still got a big enough pack where if you wanted to take like 5 or 6 cars and go halfway into this run, go 27 to, what, 14 or so, get to lap 56-ish, and you bring that crew to pit road, you could make the undercut here and put your whole entire field if you're able to pack it up and stay organized and get out there and get the lead and battle it amongst yourselves. But the major challenge of that whole thing is then you have to make sure that you don't speed on pit road or have an issue coming to pit road or wreck on pit road or have any kind of issue. Because I'm a big believer, especially on iRacing and super speedways, you want to be the first to pit road. First to pit last, kind of like road courses. But you want to make sure when you do it, you have people with you and on the same page with you. because that could make it very interesting if you're out there all by yourself. As Jacob Bowen leads them to the green. Ty Young, Josh Dillon, Daniel Giroux, Stephen Miles, your top five, and as we go single file right away. That might have been the quickest single file I have ever seen a field go. So we're going to go back here because I'm noticing, as I've learned here, there's a new rivalry apparently right here in the 45 and 22. Stephen Melnick might want to get out of Dodge. Are we ready right now? Cool heads prevailing. As Lewis goes to the top sign, bringing LaForte with him. Look at the run that 111's carrying. That's that draft. Slightly overpowering in iRacing, but that's that draft. Dominic Russo following Cornwell up towards the front. See the 6. He was unfortunately involved in that big wreck, but he's got his damage fixed up. Sammy Davis on the top side, looking pretty good now. Russo trying to push Cornwell. Wells moves down in front of Giroux there. As Lewis looks like he's going to go to the back. As Cornwell, who is... I've got him 4 laps down. Trying to get his lap back the hard way. Oh, Bowen. Oh, there goes Cornwell around with Russo and others. Stephen Miles went to pit road there and actually got back out. And that was one of those deals where I think the 00 kind of went up to be defensive there for a split second. And something tells me Cornwell might have checked up a little bit. And if so, then obviously the 63, so easy again to lift the rear end of the car up. '88 getting some damage. Cornwell on his lid. Go on board with them to see if that was the case here, because you see the 00 goes up there to, well, you know what, he actually clipped the apron. I didn't see that part, and it kind of sent him up the track, and it probably, let's listen to Cornwell and see if he checks up. Didn't hear him get out of the gas. Caution out with 23 to go. And I think we're still short on fuel here. everybody on pit road either getting damage fixed or getting what they need for their last stop of the race, potentially. And Laforte's going to win the race off pit road. Colby Wells, pretty much all the TI guys to the front with fuel only. Seeing some tire changes. So the question is going to be, when we get one to go, who comes back to pit road? All these cars getting damage fixed. Josh Dillon, Rosenberg, Uricchio, Dinsmore, Russo, Cornwell, Ramsey. Craig Martin has actually gone back on track. And we're going to come to one to go this time by, and here comes pretty much everybody. I say everybody, 5 cars. It looked like everybody at first. So that's going to hand the lead to Jace Laforte and Chris Lewis. Yeah, these guys saving fuel. Let's listen. So Jace has got the engine off. Choose you all the way to the pace car. And you just shut the engine off. Let her coast. I'd be down there on that apron too. Do not pull an Ambrose. Or don't pull a, what's his name in the All-American race that Friday night at Road to Atlanta. I forget who the guy was that kept cutting the engine off and they come back on there as the restart. Everybody almost wadded it up. All right, coming back to the green, 20 laps to go. I'm going to take a minute here and let you guys enjoy the sounds of the cars and turn it up as we take the green. Or did the green just get waved off because Jace Laforte is heading to New Smyrna right now? What in the world was that? If I'm in the field, I am literally got the car shut off, just coasting right now. So you see, starting to get back dark here. Lights are back on at the track here as we'll go into nighttime to finish the race off. All right, pace car pulls back in. Let's try it again. Turn it up here on the Captain Esports Network as we go green. So as the pack starts to get tightened up here, 17 laps to go. Bowen out front with Aaron Beaver pushing him in the 97 car. Miles back up there with LaForte, Chris Lewis. Oh, they're getting tight. Oh, they're getting tight. Oh, double zero about crowded the 18 who clipped the apron. Six is Sammy Davis. The 100 is Stringle. How about this? All the cars are back on the track that were in this race so far. Damaged, laps down, whatever. They are all still racing here at lap number 54. As Cornwell Ramsey and Craig Martin all back on track now in this race. 15 laps to go. As well, jumps back to the top side here with Ethier pushing, going to try to stick the Birdman in the middle. And Colby's actually up on the outside wall now. Got to be careful. Oh, Lewis into the double zeros into the wall, and there they wreck. We're going to stay green because everybody's off the track. Oh, Lewis is still on it now. Him and the Young. There's your caution. Somebody kicking up sparks up front in front of him, or something's weird going on there. Everybody want to know how aerodynamics work. And caution out for the 4th or 5th time. A wreck that took a half lap to finish. Starts up front here. Owen and Beaver get together. They go spinning along with the 6. Nice 360 on that part. 97 backs into the wall with the 00. Everybody's trying to get organized back up. 16's out there drifting with a modified. Oh, and then Ty gets into the back of the 111. And they wreck. And more cars coming to pit road here. I think Beaver left a brake and just backed her into the wall. It checked everybody up here. People had momentum. Yeah, I think he just kind of clipped him, it looks like. So with all that happening, Colby Wells has now gone to the front. We had a couple of cars come to pit road. Looks like Melnick, Lafort, and Bowen probably topping off the fuel cell, which is a good idea here because now you've got fuel to get you through to the finish, and then also had the overtime in it. But thank you, viewers, for watching here tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed the race and stuff. Tomorrow night we're back with GLSR from Gateway or Worldwide Technology Raceway. Thursday night we're off, and then Friday night All-American Cup at Dover. We should want to go this time by and see the green with exactly 10 laps to go. And you're really going to see the action pick up. Will we see a fourth winner in 4 races? Will we see Wells or Miles go to victory lane? They're running first and third right now and be a repeat winner this season. Of course, Ethier still looking for that first win. Stringle looking for a win. Giroux looking for his first series win. Gagnon right there too also. Dylan Rosenberg, how about this comeback? Man lost a draft twice, lost a lap, and is back up into 7th position. Clement Downing, who's raced here multiple seasons and has had all types of issues, from connection issues to just pretty much getting used to driving a car like this. He's up here in the top 8. Jace Lafort, Stephen Melnick. The super speedways are the great equalizer, as they call it in racing. All right, pace car going to pull off. As we have 10 laps to go, Colby launches, Miles right there with him. Front 7 goes single file right away, and 3 wide back here. 2 rows of 3 wide going into 1. Everybody's still single file for the most part up front. You see Melnick actually being the first one out of line. Cars scrambling everywhere as Bowen's got some damage. He and Lewis getting together back there. And now they're getting double file up front. Second back starting to catch up as here comes Rosenberg with help from Lafort. But side by side across the line, Ethier and Wells. Gagnon up there pushing Ethier, Miles pushing Wells. Giroux, Stringle. Got more cars looking to catch up there. You see Clement Downey, you see Josh Dillon, Chris Lewis, those guys trying to catch up. And then you got some of the damaged cars back here. Eurykio and Bowen with some nose damage. Beaver with some damage. Dinsmore's still got a modified back there. So it looks like it's going to be, if Lewis can tag on, about 14 cars going for the win here. Unless some like 1979 Bobby Allison, Hale Yarborough stuff happened and the 16 wins the race on the other side of the track. Going to be coming to 6 laps to go this time by. Nobody really budging or getting the advantage here. Still 6 rows of side by side. Clement Downing's back there just hanging out. As they come to 5 laps to go, who's going to be the first one to make a move? If I have to guess, it's going to be Melnick in that one car. So come up on the lap car, the 16 of Dinsmore. Stays off the track and out of the way. As they come to 4 laps to go. These cars and the way that they create that hole in the air for you to make moves and draft off of. I mean, it becomes so easy to wait till 2 laps to go and you can really start to make a move and get a run almost by yourself to go from the back to the front here. And you saw earlier in a couple of runs, I think it was Wells and Dillon made moves almost by themselves up on that top side and made it work as we come to 3 to go. Miles trying to get some air, I think, to that nose. And also, who's got the power to tandem? It's very hard to do in this car because, again, you see the front end just lifts the rear end off the ground. But if you got somebody good enough to push, you can pretty much get right up on that rear end and almost create a tandem. Which then, how much time do you have before the engine kabooms on you? As we come to 2 to go. Here they come off turn 4. They will see the white flag this time by. Final lap. Who's coming back with the checkered flag? Nobody's made the move really here. Ethier's protecting the top side. There goes Dillon and Rosenberg around. Ethier clears on the top side. Kyle's going to have to protect here. As Colby to the top side is going to open the door for Miles. 4 wide across the line, and Miles has got it. Miles kept it right on that bottom line. And is able to put the 24 back in victory lane for the 2nd time this season. And the grass is going to get mowed. And for Miles, he'll be able to extend the points lead after this. And not only that, but he'll be able to add on to that career list of wins in the TI team as he goes to victory lane. Let's go back to the finish of this race as top 5 within 8/100ths of a second there. Chase LaFort's down there in the grass. As yeah, they're 4 wide across the line, almost 5 wide, trying to go 6. Get you one more view of this. There's your finish right there. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody but Melnick, I mean, and not even to leave him out, but everybody pretty much from Giroux up to Miles is within a 1/10 of a second of each other. Let's take a look at the final results. As Miles wins it, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cars within 8/100ths of a second. Giroux finishes 7th. Melnick 8th. LaForte, Downing, Russo, Rosenberg finishes 12th. Lewis 13th. Josh Dillon 14th. Aaron Beaver ends up in the 15th position. Eurykio, Bowen, Dinsmore, Cornwell, Martin, Young, Ramsey, and Fight, which Fight didn't start the race in the end. Your 23 cars that go to victory lane here tonight. As let's talk to some drivers that finished in the top 3 this evening. David Stringle, is he in here anywhere? I don't see David, so good race by David if he's here, but he's not, so good job on his part. Second place goes to Gagnon, who also is not here. He's over in the treehouse, probably. So we'll see if he shows back up. So I guess I'm just going to pull up the winner and talk to him really quickly. Miles, man, nice job. Congratulations. None of the other 2 are here, so I guess I'm talking to you. Congratulations, obviously, sticking around that yellow line as they got racy there and picking up another win.
Yeah, you said the other 2 drivers ain't here?
Yeah, apparently.
That's crazy. No, it was it was a wild race. I mean, I pretty much gave up that sitting in the back and waiting stuff out because how these restricted plate races are nowadays, a wreck could happen, a caution never come out, and it'll ruin your whole day. And once that pack get away, they'll start running single file, and you'll be basically playing catch up for the rest of the race. So I just wanted to stay up front, unless I felt like the ones up front that was up there that I'm not usually around, or I just know their tendencies to cause havoc or whatever, I just back out. But I really thought we were gonna get green flag pit stops. I kind of strategized a little bit with the fuel and try to see how we could separate ourselves from the field. But I mean, it was another super speedway race, and there at the end, me and Kobe teammates, I was right there with him, and I was running hot for the last 5 laps, trying to just save just enough to push him that last lap. And right there, we had a good run, and he had Kyle jump in front of him, and he had one way to get past me to the outside, and when he did, I really expected Ethier to stay down low, and I was just gonna just have to be behind him and push him. And I mean, I felt like he still probably could have had a good chance. 'Cause I feel like I'm one of the best pushers, but luckily he threw a block like most people would do, and it kind of opened up for me there. I was just waiting to get right hooked back to the wall the whole time, and luckily it didn't happen. But for some reason, every time I come to Daytona on the last lap for the win, I get wrecked coming across the line. So I guess that's a good thing.
I guess the good news you'll see here when you look at the replay is the fact that you're like 6 wide almost across the line. Somehow you're trying to fit it in there. It wasn't like 6 wide exactly, but you guys were trying to be 6 wide. But didn't work out there. But still a great, obviously great night for you to be able to extend that points lead too.
Yeah, I just have a goal this season to try to do something that you always try to preach to me, and that's to have fun and enjoy stuff, even though, it might be up and down. But every season I have some wins, but I have those 1 to 2 races where I have a bad finish, get caught in somebody mess or somebody dog chew a cord or anything like that. And so I just want a top 3, top 5 finish every single race to try to get another championship, another team championship for the team, and do my part. And I missed some of my teammates tonight, but I'm just glad we was able to get it done.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on adding to that TI total, and give your shout outs.
Thank you to Ti. Thank you to Chris Lewis for doing everything he do when he does. Thank you for hanging in there, sticking in, and I know every league had their days or whatever like that, but you're one of the best ones to call it. When want nobody else to be in the booth to call this race. And thank my teammates, Dean, Alvin, AB, Kobe Wells did a heck of a job tonight. Appreciate Devin Ramsey being a spotter for me tonight and racing with us in the chat. He was a big help. And thank God, thank my girlfriend and the whole league for putting on a good show. And things get dicey and things happen, but pretty much for the league period, man, wouldn't be the driver I am without racing with these guys every Tuesday.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stephen Miles, the winner tonight here in Daytona, as he pulls it out in the wild ending there. As I still look around, and the other two apparently aren't going to talk tonight. So it is what it is. So appreciate Miles for sticking around for conversations. And yeah, wild race there in the end. So congratulations to him on getting another win. A little bit of drama, obviously, but it all worked out. And what turned out to be another super speedway race for the record books here at TI. And we'll go next week to insert track name here, Chicagoland. As we'll all put up with our Justin Timberlake post that we're going to see in social media the next couple hours still. And go into May, and May 7th at Chicagoland next Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. So appreciate Lewis for letting me broadcast as always, being a part of the league and more. And we are going to move on. And tomorrow night, next broadcast for us, GLSR at Gateway. Looking forward to that race tomorrow night. Otherwise, we head out. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.